Hey,
All
Merlin.
right. Hi, Steven. How are you?
Good. Where are your guitars?
Oh, I just moved, so everything's in boxes right now.
I hardly recognize you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not the same without my instruments. Um, I have a question for you. So this is kind of like a pet theory I've been batting around with my wife, and it's like a natal question. So we've both kind of been playing with the idea of the outer planets when they are in the opposition to one of the inner planets kind of having a relationship that is similar to sort of like a radio receiver where the inner planets become kind of like the speaker or the voice for the outer slow moving planets. um, I'm just kind of curious, on your thoughts on that idea and if you've ever sort of encountered something like that or if that was a thought that occurred to you before. Anything really that comes to mind.
Uh, I think you're absolutely right. That's 100% true. If we have say a Neptune-Venus aspect of any sort, uh, Venus is influenced by the Neptune. In a sense, it's a radio receiver for Neptune, and so when I enter into intimacy of any sort with another human being, I'm bringing an expectation that we will connect in a non-physical way as well as a physical way. I'm bringing an expectation that, of course, we will have moments of soulful eye contact with each other, which would be a very Venus translation of the Neptunian desire to make soul contact. Uh, I would also say that it's a two-way street, that Neptune, in a sense, is a radio receiver for Venus energy. And so our ability to attune to the divine and the transcendent realms, our Neptunian function is very much conditioned by Venus, aesthetics, and so on. I can't help but giggle here for a moment. As soon as I saw your face, I said, "Where are the guitars?" So and the reason I'm bringing it up is I love music. Music has been a big part of my life. I have a Neptune-Venus sextile. So as soon as I entered into relationship with you, my Venus was conditioning my Neptune, just as my Neptune was conditioning my Venus, and sort of framed that perception. I'd give you one more image, a very Neptunian one. When we think of communing with the divine, communing with God, whatever language we use for it. Um, for most of us, and certainly in every religion, there are two faces to that. There's the face we call prayer, where we are essentially talking to the divine. And then there is the face we call meditation, where we are listening to the divine. And so the sense of transmission and reception going in both directions with all those aspects, prayer and meditation.
Thank you. Yeah. So if I understood you correctly, you're actually saying it's not just in oppositions, it's any kind of relationship, any like major aspect that kind of creates that connection.
Yeah, any aspect. And here we go into, kind of FCEA 101 stuff about aspects. If it's a hard aspect, it's a little more difficult to make the integration, but makes it a little more mindful and a little more conscious and a little juicier.
Yeah, you intuitively hit the nail on the head by using like a Venus Neptune or by focusing on the Neptunian side of it because we're both super interested in like any kind of parapsychological psychic stuff and so on. And so, of course, we've been like looking for, chart examples and people sort of in that realm to see if we can establish kind of a relationship of if the Neptune has an aspect to, let's say, Mars, how does it come out? If it's to Mercury or to Venus, how is that different? That was kind of like uh, eerily funny that you picked that example.
Let me take it one step further then, since we're in a massive synchronistic groove here. Merlin, when I'm thinking of Venus-Neptune contacts between people, or even a Venus-Neptune in an individual chart, the idea that our spiritual life and our intimate life are working together. That's the abstract notion that we're going to encounter the mysteries through human intimacy. But here's how I like to make them come alive. So if I turn a corner in an old building and I think for a moment that I might possibly have just seen a ghost, something appears at the end of the hall and then it's gone. As a rational human being, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, did my eyes just play a trick on me? Maybe I'm open to the idea of ghosts and spirits, but I'm also open to the idea of my own fallibility. And, maybe there's a mote of dust on my eyelash or something, and I mistake it for the ghost of Napoleon. This is, it's just part of being a rational human being, is to doubt yourself. Okay, now here's the next image. I'm with my partner. We have Neptune-Venus things going. And I walk down into that hall and I have that same perception. And at that instant, she gasps and says, "Did you see that?" Notice how it's an entirely different experience. Suddenly, you have 100% faith in the perception because somebody else corroborated it. You need a witness. You need a witness. Neptune, Venus, as you share psychic experiences, your faith in psychic experiences increases exponentially. So the shared perception, can I get a witness? That's the spirit.
Cool. Thank you so much. That was a blast.
Welcome. Welcome.